A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 8, verses 1 to 4, passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. Jesus came down the mountain with the cheers of the crowd still ringing in his ears. Then a leper appeared and went to his knees before Jesus, praying, "Master, if you want to, you can heal my body." Jesus reached out and touched him, saying, "I want to, be clean." Then and there, all signs of the leprosy were gone. Jesus said, "Don't talk about this all over town. Just quietly present your healed body to the priest, along with the appropriate expressions of thanks to God. Your cleansed and grateful life, not your words, will bear witness to what I have done." The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 8, verses 1 to 4. Leprosy was a life sentence, and healing a leper was as difficult as bringing a dead man back to life. This is why they were marginalized. They could not mix with people. When Jesus came down from the mountain, a great crowd followed him. However, there were other people who didn't follow him. They watched him from afar. There were people who couldn't mingle with the crowd. The law forbade it because they were unclean. This leper felt in his heart a longing to draw close to Jesus. He had faith in Jesus, took courage and drew near. It was a difficult decision for Jesus too. There were the religious leaders and the detractors of Jesus who were always watching with an intention to put Jesus to the test. Touching a leper was good enough reason for them to condemn Jesus. But Jesus didn't stand still without touching him. Instead, he drew even closer, stretched out his hand and healed him. Today, many people watch him from afar, but are not interested in the person of Jesus. And many watch from afar to criticize him, to condemn him. And many people watch from afar because they don't have the courage of that leper. But Jesus stretches out his hand to everyone, becoming one like us, soiled by our sins. And this is Christian closeness. Pope Francis had given a beautiful reflection on this gospel passage in 2015. He said, "Closeness is such an important word. You can't build a community without closeness. You can't make peace without closeness. You can't do good without drawing near." Jesus could have said to him, "Be healed." But instead, he drew close and touched him. What's more, at the moment that Jesus touched the unclean man, Jesus became unclean. And this is the mystery of Jesus. He takes upon himself our uncleanliness, our impurities. St. Paul describes this well when he writes that Jesus, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself. Jesus became sin. Jesus became excluded, took impurity upon himself to draw close to man. There is no set protocol for God's action in our life. When the Lord intervenes into our lives, we cannot expect to have any pattern. It does not exist. But what is certain is that God intervenes. The Pope, in his reflection, invited every faithful and the Church as a whole to get close to the marginalized people, close the distance until touching them without being afraid to get dirty. This is the Christian closeness that Jesus showed us concretely when he freed the leper from the impurity of the disease and also from social exclusion.